Welcome! You're listening to Making Relationships Work. We're a company focused on women and their marriage. We lead and teach women just like you how to grow into and access, whenever you need to, your wise woman self, the part of you who is deeply connected to your purpose, your innate wisdom, and your husband and family. We teach women in marriages how to rebuild trust and connection, to work through conflicts, no matter how deep, no matter how painful, and to lead your marriage to a place where the two of you experience marriage mastery. This podcast is about learning the systems and techniques that truly work to reconnect you back into your marriage so that you can experience the freedom that comes with a masterful marriage. Since this podcast is totally free, if you're getting tons of value and you want to support us and make sure that you get more of this good stuff, subscribe below and rate and review our podcast today. Now, on to the show. Hello, Women Making Marriages Work. Hello, our Making Relationships Work podcast and our YouTube channel. Tonight, we are going to talk about something a little bit philosophical, but nevertheless incredibly important. I want to talk to you about the idea of better moments with yourself, what that means, why it's important, the gaps that you'll have in those moments, and exactly how to bring that into your everyday life. So let's start with why it's important to have better moments with yourself. So when I describe this, what I'm trying to teach you or talk to you about is the idea that all day, every day, you are interacting with yourself. You are connecting or disconnecting. You are avoiding, or you are having some sense of defending or resisting, or that internal critic is loud and aggressive, or you are peaceful and calm, or you are enjoying your life as it unfolds. All day, every day, a variety of opportunities awaits you with the relationship with yourself. And when we really unpack that, it's quite a sobering yet obvious statement, as all the good ones are. It would be no surprise to you that the people who are stuck in the inner critic who's really loud and very aggressive to the point of obnoxious with you is in your way. You would know that. But you would also keep to her beat, run to her schedule, tick things off her list, heed her warnings, and have that internal experience start to feed out across the external environment. And so when we think about it from that perspective, your internal critic is, the louder she is, the less connected you are to yourself, the more you're on a schedule of to-dos and controlling and perfectionism and white-knuckling. And when you go into that space, what happens is that you're hard to find. I don't mean physically, because you're right there, but I do mean emotionally. So if we're looking at from a parenting, from a marriage, from a friendship perspective, you're not available to connect emotionally. And the most important thing, I think, in life is to feel connected to people and to feel connected to yourself. And of course, that means that you have to be in a space within your own internal experience of having access to that person, you. It helps if you like yourself. It helps if you're a friend to yourself. It helps if you have grown up with great modeling of how to be a friend to yourself. Most of us don't have access to that. We have to build it. Many of us don't understand that we can build it. And so they're stuck in the old paradigms, the old ways that they inherited. And so today we talk about better moments with yourself as a reminder that every moment that comes up is a fresh, blank sheet of paper. And you can design the internal experience you have. You might think, but I suffer from depression, I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from perfectionism, I suffer fools. Not at all. and everyone else is a fool and I'm not. All of those things are resistances to being a good friend to yourself. All of those thoughts, all of those beliefs hurt you, and all of that pain stays inside of you and eventually seeps out to other people, and the relationships that you hold with others are contaminated. And so here's the thing. If this is resonating with you, you and your husband are going to probably be in trouble, and he is probably going to suffer in a similar way to you. And the two of you don't have good moments with yourselves, and you don't have many good moments together. And so you're running on these old scripts, these old paradigms that are slowly breaking you, and those that depend on you, your children, your community. And it is time for it to end. And there are so many things that need to happen to rebuild that. I get that. I know I'm an expert in that area. But if we were to focus on the one thing that will make a huge difference straight away, it is about claiming yourself and always searching for things that make you feel satisfied and things that make you feel good. I don't need you to go from that that negative kind of experience you're having in your voice, that in your head, sorry, that motor that's running around how you're not good enough. I don't need you to go from there to, I love myself, I'm amazing, I think I'm amazing. That's not what this is. What I am suggesting that you do is start to take a step towards a better feeling thought, a step towards feeling a satisfaction for who you are and how well you've loved today. I want you to start to think about at the end of every day, do you find satisfaction for how you've shown up? You might not have ticked all your things off your list, but do you like who you were that day? And my guess is that you don't most of the time. And that if you do, it's fleeting and perhaps even hard to hold that good feeling for long. And here's the thing. A wise woman works to cultivate that sense of well-being, that sense of I've done a great job today. I'm proud of who I was today. She works to do that across all parts of her life, her relationship with herself, most importantly, but of course, her husband, her partner, and her children, and her colleagues, and her friends, and her community. She works to leave a legacy that she's proud of. And the greatest pain comes from the gap between who you're meant to be and how you're actually showing up. Because you understand that you're here to grow into your potential. And every time that inner critic is running your life, every time you're having a day where you don't evaluate yourself overall as having had a good day where you've contributed and you're proud of how you've shown up, no matter what circumstances, you're not living to your potential. You're not claiming your greatness. You're not unfolding your legacy of yourself. And of course, it all starts with how you feel about yourself, how well you know yourself, how well you love yourself, how well you tune out that inner critic that tells you you're doing it wrong. And you look to create a voice inside of your head that is gentle and encouraging, who sets goals with you and who cheers you on. Every woman I know wants a parent who does that. And most women I know don't have parents who do that. They have parents who do more of the inner critic. That's often where the inner critic has come from. And so what we need to do is look to be our own friend. We need that. We need to have better moments throughout the day that thread together like a tapestry, where at the end of the day, you get that swell of good feeling about who you were and how you showed up and what you did. And do you hear that only one of those was about the doing and the rest of those things were about the being? Who are you being today? And how long did you spend there? This is not an exercise in avoiding big feelings. It's not an exercise in being a perfect person, because those things are incredibly unhelpful. What it is a muscle building idea that we need to grow into the humans we want to become. And we need to set the intention and live it as a daily practice, rather than going through a series of to-do lists that, loop incessantly. There is no end in sight to that. And so where is the relief? Where is the sense of I'm bettering? I'm having better moments with myself. I'm bettering myself. I'm leaving the world better than I found it. It's not there in the tasks. It's not there in the to-do lists. It's not there in the running loop of Critic. All that brings is disconnect and hurt and rigidity. And all of that does in you is festers and then spreads. It contaminates all of those around you. Sure, when you've got some energy, you can hold it back somewhat. But also, are you blooming? Are you full of life? Are you full of power and energy? 60% of the time? 70% of the time? 80% of the time? Where do you live and where do you want to live? And these are the very questions of that better relationship with yourself, which is found in having better moments across the day. And so, if this is resonating with you, you're going to want to watch my masterclass, which I'll put the link in down the bottom. And you're going to want to build this as a daily practice. Maybe you want to come and learn how to do this with me. And if you do, you're welcome to book a free breakthrough call with our team. And if you don't, what I want you to do is to take the truth of this into your everyday life and honor it. I want you to find your new voice that runs your life in a different way so that you have a better quality of life. If that is the only gift that I get to share with you, that is the one I want you to have. That is the one I want your children to have from you. That is the one I want your beautiful husband to have from you. That is the one I want your community to have from you. And so, my darlings, let's finish off there. But let's not decide to do that. Let's not hear this and let it flow through and not grab it and say, hang on a second, why don't I live like that? Because the difference between a woman who has that better life, those better moments more often than you, the difference between her and you is that she decides, that's enough. I'm going in this direction. I want this quality of life. I want this experience of life. I'm going this way. And that, my darlings, is the gift I have for you today. All right. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And what I want more than anything in the world for you is for you to have that inner voice. For you to have that inner voice that tells you you're doing a good job and you're finding satisfaction in everyday things. And that satisfaction is growing and growing and growing. And that inner critic is getting smaller and smaller. And instead you're getting a cheerleader, an encourager, a friend who still has you go out and complete great, lovely stretch goals, but in a different way. And that's what I want for you. All right, my darlings. Time for me to go. I'll talk to you soon. Much love to you. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning into today's show. If you're feeling fired up and you're ready to grow and you want to know more about how to do that, here is what I want you to do now. I want you to watch my marriage masterclass. This masterclass will show you how my clients have turned their struggling marriages into thriving marriages, even without their husband's buy-in. How my clients have gone from cycles of poor communication, disconnect and loneliness to being teammates and soulmates with their husbands again, even after they've already tried everything. And the proven system my clients use to start transforming their marriages in minutes, not years, because life is too precious to waste one more minute in an unhappy and unfulfilling marriage. So if this is what you're looking for, I want you to click the link below and take a look at my masterclass.